Hop in the plane, take off, and when we hit the button, we hit a little beep, 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 we just go jump out. And where we land, we don't know we landing. We might land, hey, quicksand. We might land at a Fiesta. Who knows? But I like it. So, last week we was speaking on the Kevin Samuels, and a lot of stuff has happened since then. You had a lot of people. It was so fresh then.
Yeah.
And so you had a lot of people. They started to give their particular. I wouldn't even say because everybody before he died, they had their opinion, but you started seeing people out of nowhere come out that wasn't necessarily as vocal, whether supporting him or not supporting him. But people, it's a lot of people that sat back that said, hey, I can't really take a side right now with this. I might agree with him, but I can't do it. Maybe I seen one person, Omarion, he came to his defense earlier today. Because some pastor, I don't know who the pastor is, but he's some pastor wanted to use the time to bash him. And then I seen Vivica.
I saw that.
I seen Vivica. She made a.
I believe that was Pastor Jamal Bryan, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. They all the same to me.
What I really want to know is what your look is on it. Like, what do you think about it? Like, how do you feel about him as a person?
Strong, feminine energy. Empress. Is that fitting? Is that a fitting? Okay, yeah.
We gonna roll with that.
I saw the way you glow. I saw the way you glow. Hey, I'm good at this now.
Yeah.
So
it's a yes. It's a yes. All right. Okay. So I tried to keep my opinions about Kevin Samuels to an all-time low during his life because I didn't want to give him the platform. He wasn't going to use my platform to have an opportunity to expand his brand because his brand to me was ridiculous. Now, I'm sorry that it's so strong in the polar opposite direction. It's probably on par with half of America that's a woman. But I just felt like his antics just wasn't purposeful. Like his antics were just to create shock value and to antagonize and rustle and it was just to get a response. It was just for, I guess, marketing points, promo points, like for virality. I didn't think anything he was doing, and that's my issue. Okay, so I could not celebrate his life. I had to say it on social media. I actually got a little flack back about it. I requoted somebody else, and it's the quote said, make sure I get it right, you can't expect us to celebrate a legacy you didn't leave or to highlight virtues you didn't, you know what I mean? Like to highlight virtues you didn't achieve, like, or virtues that you didn't demonstrate. So while there were some people that came out and said, Kevin's a great guy.
What do you mean? What do you mean by virtues you didn't demonstrate? What did you, I guess my thing is this, what were the things that you felt like that he didn't leave behind? Like what did you want to see from him? Because it's not like as though people, like your opinion, right, of things, it might be a guy out there that say, oh, well, I don't agree with it, but I wouldn't want him to just hate you. He has to articulate to me, okay, what is it that you would have wanted to have seen?
I don't hate Kevin Samuels. I learned of Kevin Samuels, and I'm thankful that I didn't have a long stint of time of knowing about him and his brand. I had an ex-boyfriend, you will remain nameless, who introduced me to Kevin Samuels because he just got so enthralled with everything that came out of this man's mouth. So that just goes to show you my grown-ass boyfriend was like locked in. So that's how much influence he did have. That's one thing he got right. He just used, I think, his influence to not build up family. He used it to incite gender wars. He used it to create classism. He used
I want you to break down something you just said. You said he used it to break up families.
He didn't use it to build families. I don't think him highlighting why people are unsuccessful or unsuccessfully single is a way to build family. That is not a demonstration of leadership that says these are the fundamental basic skills that you need to be successful in mothering and fathering a child in a union and snatching back the family.
But I saw opposite. That's why I'm just trying to figure out where did you hear him trying to break up families?
I say he didn't use his platform to build families. The way he would just kind of or try to tear apart the woman if they fit into certain.
To your point, and I get it, a lot of females, and I didn't see even guys. I think one time Charleston White, he wasn't familiar with all his content.
No.
So they would see like these snippets and highlights, right? And so that's why it's fair. What you're saying is fair because at the end of the day, there is so much more. I mean, if you could get past that,
I get what you're saying.
yeah, you would be able to truly. But if you are already kind of like disgusted off the first, then it's like you can't really.
I done heard like people that saw a video. an interview with his ex-wife. Things of that. I done heard that. I'm like, I didn't see that.
It's like if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I just met her to Faye, and X, Y, and Z. I don't know." And then I say, "Well, I can't really. I get it. Right. I get what you just off of the first kind of like go about."
If you're so loud with the things that you do that's so wrong, you can't expect people to pay attention to the things that you do that are the equivalent of a whisper. Like he's so vocal. First of all, I personally believed I am not familiar with all his content. I would never torture myself that way. Okay. So I have so much more things to do at that time than to listen to all the words that come out of his mouth. I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. He didn't grab me. And that's one of the key things that any speaker should know is you need to gauge your audience. He knows his audience is the World Wide Web and that it makes up this. He knew his listeners were 80% women and that's what he attacks a lot.
That's not, but see, I'm to his defense. I'm going to say this because I have followed him and I have listened to him. When I came into listening to him, he was actually talking about guys. So I was listening to him because I was making a transition myself, like steel sharpening steel. You got a professional guy or a successful guy or just even, I'm out here and I'm meeting to guys that don't have as much money as I do, but they live longer. So I at least give them the floor to just listen to them. And it may be something that may not have nothing to do with me. They may have lived a totally different life, but it may be like that. And I guess God has blessed me with that. Well, I could listen to you and you like 90% wrong or 90% wrong for me and how I live my life. But then you might have like 10% of like, yo, I needed that. And I've done it before. I've sat in the room with somebody and they just saying things that do not pertain to me and I don't agree with. But then they may say something about like credit or something that I may be dealing with at the time, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, "Yo, I need to hear." I'm locked in. Period, because I give people the
respect.
Yeah. Period, and then I may not agree with you, right? But I'm going to give you you see, as you see here, there's a lot of people that come up here that I don't agree with. I don't agree with half majority of stuff that she come to me with, and same way with her. We don't agree, but I think that's the whole point of why we started this podcast is to say, hey, do you have enough love, one for yourself and for others, to be able to take out the time to really understand your brother, your sister,